G'day, Tragic here, and welcome to my playthrough for Eldritch Horror. Yes, the Eldritch Horror. Now, this has the 2 expansions in it. I forget exactly which ones, but I have recently finally completed my collection. I've got Season Runes, I've got Signs of Corsica, got In the Mouth of Madness, got the Mass of Nyarlathotep, I've got Under the Pyramids, and I've got the Dreamlands. Now, what you might notice is that a lot of these aren't even open, and some of them, most of them aren't hole punched. Because I have not played this game since I had the base set and the first 2 small box expansions. I think it's Strange Remnants and some other one I can't remember the name of. It had a funny face on the cover. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to mix up all the mixable uppity stuff and create a full set. I will then do random selections as always. And with luck, we're going to get an old one that's got an expansion board. But if we don't, we'll do it another time. Now, you will notice something different. I'm trying for a sort of darker, more moody lighting. But I'm having an absolute mental conniption because, you know, in the last one I did, I told you I bought like a huge, big felt fabric to go over the table. So stop it being all shiny, like in the top corner there. Well, it's completely missing. Like, I can't find it at all. So, yes, hopefully it's not going to be too much of a problem. So, let's get into this, shall we? Well, Eldritch Horror, hey? It's been a while. You know, it has been a long time since I played this game. In fact, I could count the amount of times I've played this game on one hand. And that's because every time I go to play this game, you know, with my friends, we always just end up playing Arkham Horror instead. Because that's the game we know, that's the game we love. We've had quite a few times of going, oh, let's play Eldritch Horror, and we actually end up playing Arkham Horror. So you can actually see me in this video, like unpacking fresh boxes, like taking the shrink wrap off expansion boxes, unpunching the boards, because, you know, the game is brand new, basically. And I really am keen to see how the game all functions now that it's fulfilled its promise of an Arkham game, as in having that deep randomization of large decks. Because, like, if you look at my old playthrough on the channel, not the digital one, the one with the physical components on this channel, then you can actually see that I won that game because I basically had memorized the entire asset deck. Because I had cycled through the whole thing once and drawn out tons and tons of items. So I knew exactly what was in the deck, and all I had to do was basically just draw the cards I needed, and that would win me the game. And I could do that because I had that Charlie guy, and, you know, I boosted up his influence, and he was basically be able to buy the entire offer every single turn just about, and he could give it to anyone on the table. Plus he could give his action to anyone on the table, his other actions, so whoever needed it got 3 actions. And it was a crazy combo. And all I needed to do was just delay a little bit until I drew the exact items I needed, and then I win the game. And that was a really fun, sort of exciting end to that game. But at the same time, it's sort of the antithesis of what I expect from an Arkham game, which is that deep, you know, randomization from all the cards. Well, I tell you what, that is not an option now. I mean, look at these decks. The item deck's like, 200 and something cards. The spell deck's like 190 plus. The unique asset deck is like 190 plus. I mean, these decks are huge now. I mean, even the location decks are really thick, you know, like 20, 30 cards. I haven't counted them, but they seem big. Bigger than like a location deck in Arkham. So I feel like now this game is actually the game it was always supposed to be. And I'm really, really keen to see how it works. I'm particularly keen to see how, with everything mixed in, the difference between having everything mixed in with Arkham, which is a very, has that dilution problem, and Eldritch is designed specifically to remove that dilution issue. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just having my little ramble, and I'm going to select randomly my characters that I'm going to play with. So I'm going to play with 6 characters, and that means that we get like 2 gates a turn or whatever, or 2 monsters, or like, there's like a little card that tells you what the icons are worth, and I think it's like 2 of everything. So the game's going to be a little bit more intense, but we're also going to have a lot more options, and I think that'll be quite fun. Again, with the simplification of the player area, not having money, not having the sliders and all that kind of stuff, having the set movement points and all that kind of thing, makes it easier to run more characters. So we're going to see how running 6 works. So I'm going to choose them in this video, but I'm not going to choose the Prelude or the Ancient One. I'm actually going to ask for your input on this. And the reason I'm going to do that is because a huge amount of the components in Eldritch Horror are only used if you have the correct Ancient One, or if you have the correct Prelude, or sometimes you need the Ancient One and the Prelude to utilize it. Like if you want, like in Arkham, if you want to play the Dunwich Horror board, you just add the board and you go. But in this one, if you want to play, the Mansion of Madness or whatever, the Mountains of Madness board, you can only play with the Great Old One that board is for, or you can only play with the Prelude that, opens up that sort of Stars Are Right secondary expedition deck or whatever, So there's huge swathes of this game are hidden behind combinations of Ancient One and Prelude. So unlike Arkham Horror, if you just do pure random selection and you play 10 games, you might only see a expansion board once, maybe twice, because the vast majority of the Preludes and the Ancient Ones do not have any of these sort of hidden components, so to speak. So what I'm going to do, you don't have to recommend something that's got a hidden component, but I'm going to ask you guys what Ancient One and what Prelude you would like to see. If you want to see any particular Ancient One or any particular Prelude, just write a comment and I will make a list of all those suggestions, and I will then randomly pick from those lists. I'm also going to add my own Prelude and my own Ancient One, and depending how many votes I get, I might add more than one. So we'll have a little we'll have a randomization for the Ancient One, but it'll be kind of smaller. You know what I mean? Like there'll be a higher chance of getting more drastic changes to the game, like expansion boards and, the specialty decks and stuff, like the adventure deck and all that kind of thing. So that's about that. So what I'm going to do, I'm also not going to, read all the flavor text and everything in this video. I'm just going to show you the characters that I have randomly chosen. So during the randomization, we actually got that Charlie guy, and we don't want to use him at all. So I'm actually taking him out of the pot and redrawing. Then we got Joe Diamond, who is a combat kind of oriented character. I got William Yorick, the Grave Digger. I also got Aski O'Neill. Don't ask me how to pronounce that. She's particularly awesome in Arkham Horror. I'm not quite sure how she is in this game. I also got Finn Edwards, and I got Skids O'Toole. I got Norman Withers, and because we're playing with 6 people, we have 2 spawning gates, 3 clues per spawn, and 2 in the Monster Surge. So it's quite a lot of stuff going on. And that's pretty much it. We are ready to go. This took a metric ton of time to set up. Now, normally it doesn't take this long. It's just that you have to really, because of, when you open up new expansions, that all the cards are in order, you've got to do very thorough shuffling to mix them up. Otherwise you get like huge clumping of expansions in your deck. So it took me ages, almost 2.5 hours to mix and set this game up. So it's better be fun. I will see you guys next time we are done. So drop in your comments and let me know what Ancient One you'd like to see, or if you would like to see a particular Prelude. And I'll see you guys next time.